everyone, Pushing Up Roses here, and welcome to another blood-curdling episode of That Time on Murder, She Wrote. I came across this one after typing weirdest episodes into my search bar, and after going through several descriptions, landed on this one, and strap in because this is a Grady episode, and I know we all love our sweet golden retriever boy and his turbulent love life. Also, Sonny Bono guest stars, and it's weird. Let's dive right into the shark-infested waters of Just Another Fish Story, episode 19, season 4. We begin our mystery in the kitchen of a seafood restaurant where this man is making a shady business deal involving a lobster. Wow, that is the second biggest bolo I've ever seen. Jessica is on her way to the restaurant to have dinner with her nephew, Grady.
I was hoping I'd have time to stop off and freshen up,
she says as she sits there looking absolutely amazing. Jess has some small talk with the cab driver, telling him that her nephew thinks she should invest in this seafood restaurant as it's become very popular, and geez, this is one bumpy road.
Boy, this neighborhood's really gone down a flush.
All those cowboys taking over.
Grady?
And Jess?
I guess we can finally tell Paula Cole that all of the cowboys have gone to New York for fancy seafood. As they enter Alice's Farm restaurant, Grady tells her he's excited to get married to his fiancée Donna, who will be meeting with them later. What in the world is going on in this place? Why are they serving things on pitchforks? Is this Frankenstein's final meal or something? The host, Chaz, makes a stink about not being able to find Grady's reservation, so the bookkeeper comes in and takes care of it.
Oh, Fletcher, yeah, I misunderstood.
Oh, I thought you said Ledger. It's not clear why, but he seems hesitant to seat her even though she is an investor. I love how out of place some of these patrons look. Yeah, you know this crowd loves a stale bread bowl served in a dusty sawmill. We just got off the Janet Jackson tour and we want chili. We learn that Chaz has been selling off already reserved tables for more money. Meanwhile, back in the kitchen,
our menu says burnt meatloaf. This meatloaf looks like meatloaf.
You put something called burnt meatloaf on your menu? No wonder Chaz has to sell tables for money. Why would you put that on there? Doug, the bookkeeper, tells Alice, the cook, that they need to buy out Chaz because he's being shady. Alice says she doesn't think he'd go for that idea.
Yeah, but what if he doesn't really have a choice?
What if we kill him? As Jessica waits at the bar for her table, she meets Harry, the bartender, who shows off a cork signed by Ernest Hemingway and a gossip columnist named Mimi Harcourt. If you're a big fan of the Golden Girls, you will recognize this actress as she played Dorothy's daughter-in-law. Even though Jess is very nice to Mimi, she is a little intimidated by her status as a mystery novelist.
Well, I'm afraid I haven't read you either, Jennifer. But of course my readers aren't into fiction, they're more into making their own scene.
Wow, sick burn. Donna joins them, apologizing for her tardiness.
I'm sorry to be late.
I had to feather my hair. Jess asks them to tell her all about the wedding plans, and they have this cartoonishly confused reaction to it, as though they haven't planned anything.
Whatever you want would be fine, really.
But what do you want it to be?
Whatever you want.
But what do you want it to be?
Whatever you want.
But what do you want it to be?
Whatever you want.
But what do you want?
They start planning at dinner, Grady sporting his best John Denver glasses.
Man, Jess, isn't this incredible?
We all have glasses. The chef comes out to thank Jess for her investment.
I had no idea that you could get yellowtail on this coast.
It was frozen.
What?
Frozen. It was a fresh frozen.
Jess is over here like, God damn, why did I invest in this pile? She also thanks Donna for doing some extra accounting work for the restaurant. Then they drop Donna back off at home. Don't fuck this up, Grady. He seems to get all tongue-tied whenever his upcoming marriage is brought up.
I'm not nervous, Aunt Jess.
I'm just anxious. Hey, buddy, move your hay bales. I'm walking here. So... this guy is dead? Yep, it's Chaz, found in a freezer looking like he dunked his head in some coke. The investigator says he was slashed with something and also conked on the head.
Now nothing's been touched, including this ledger.
Oh, it's Fletcher, actually. This actor is Norman Fell, and you likely know him as Mr. Roper from Three's Company. He plays a rather prudish lieutenant and expresses approval that Grady and Donna are to be married.
See, too many of the young people today are just shacking up.
Yeah, way too many sluts. Donna is freaking out because she is now involved in the investigation, being one of the accountants for the restaurant. The lieutenant commands that she re-examine the books. As usual, the police are terrible at their job and miss seeing a Swiss Army knife right there in plain sight on the floor. I swear, Jess always has to do all the work for these rubes.
This look familiar, sir?
Sure.
It's a baggie. The owners, Alice and Doug, get to the crime scene where Alice discovers 6 cases of lobster are missing. This entire murder thing is very inconvenient for Grady and Jess, who are supposed to be meeting Donna's family, but Jess notices Grady is kind of happy they won't be going. She asks if she's afraid to meet them, and he confesses he had worked for Donna's dad before he met her and had also gotten fired. Oops. They get a call from Mimi Harcourt, remember her? Who wants to interview Jess about the restaurant. Jess reluctantly agrees to. Nice lamp. Anyway, Jess meets Mimi, who appears to be dressed for a funeral. She wants to interview Jess about being an investor, but ends up gossiping instead. The restaurant they meet at, called Valentino's, was the place that Alice, Doug, and Chaz worked at prior to opening Alice's restaurant, and it's been going down ever since. During lunch, Mimi gets a mysterious secret phone call.
It's me.
This is your Uber Eats delivery driver for your Pizza Hut order, so they're out of cheese.
What?
She rushes off, so Jess takes the opportunity to snoop. She meets Valentino, the proprietor, who is played by Sonny Bono. That dude had so many TV cameos in the 80s, he also guested on The Golden Girls at the same time. Jess kind of butters him up, and he is charmed by her.
Oh, here's my bill.
Please, senora. It's on the house.
I got you, babe. This act of generosity is suspicious to Jess, as Valentino takes the tape out of the register and pockets it, leading Jess to tell Lieutenant Rupp that she believes Chaz was stealing from the restaurant and selling things to someone else. Rupp is not happy and wants Donna to do more work on the books, and if they don't comply, he'll arrest all of them. This is seriously one of the worst detectives I've seen on the show. He's unethical and unlikable, and he threatens Jess. 0 out of 10. Jess asks Alice and Doug if they know anybody who has access to the books that could be stealing the inventory, and they also point out Chaz. Also, are they still eating in the restaurant? It's still open? There was a murder here! Is this normal for a crime scene? During dinner, Alice said the fish they were eating for dinner was taken out to defrost by Doug, but he says no, he didn't touch it. Alice says she saw the fish on the counter in the morning and... oh no.
I think I just found our sickle-shaped murder weapon, and we just ate it.
You ate the murder weapon? Now everyone has to be interrogated again.
You and your brother live together, man?
This is New York.
Incest runs rampant here. It gets even worse. There were traces of the victim's blood on the fin of the fish Jessica ate.
Is that what we ate?
You know what I can't figure out?
Today's crossword. What's a 5-letter word for perfect? So everyone is just kind of confused because the murder happened in a kitchen where the suspect would have knives and forks and all kinds of things one could use as a weapon, but the killer chose a fish. Jess begins to figure it out, saying that the fish means the murder was not premeditated and that Chaz was likely slashed with the fish, fell over, and was knocked unconscious, then froze.
Lady, I gotta read one of your books.
While working on the books, Jess finds a list of what appears to be silent partners, including some initials. Jess thinks that MH stands for Mimi Harcourt, so she plans to confront her.
I have something that I have to return to Miss Harcourt.
It's a sick burn. Meanwhile, Donna is feeling stressed with the wedding, the murder investigation, and with Grady's grumpy attitude.
Donna, the kind of stress that you and Grady are experiencing right now, you know, it's really quite natural.
Natural? Someone was murdered! Donna explains that she's feeling a lot of pressure because she doesn't want to be an accountant and she's only doing it to appease Grady and her father.
All I really want is
muffins. She explains that she wants to stay home and have a family and is afraid that Grady doesn't want that. Jess reassures her that her and Grady are perfect for each other. Jess gets Mimi to confess to being an investor for the restaurant. Chaz convinced her it would be a good idea and would remain a secret since her columnist job makes it a conflict of interest. Oh, come on, move ya hey-ka, jeez! Jess goes back to Valentino's to ask some questions and it really showcases how horrible an actor Sonny Bono is, but you know, the beat goes on. He then makes a pass at her, I think?
How do you feel about garlic?
Jessica notices Valentino uses the same supplier as Alice's farm and casually mentions that the only person who would buy stolen restaurant supplies is another restaurateur. She says she can ask Rupp to call the distributor, and Valentino admits that he doesn't always buy food from regular channels. Suddenly, they are interrupted by a call from Grady.
What's wrong? Has somebody been hurt?
It's happened again.
Oh, God.
I've been dumped.
Oh. I do not know why everyone keeps going back to this restaurant to eat. Someone was murdered with a fish at this place. Grady admits that maybe Donna dumping him was for the better, as he prefers to have a more old-fashioned relationship where she can be a stay-at-home wife and he can do all the work, meaning they want the same thing and refuse to talk about it. Still, Grady doesn't understand why she broke up with him so suddenly.
Maybe it was something I said.
Probably. Rupp shows up to talk to Jess.
I checked on Valentino's alibi. It won't hold minestrone.
That's an Italian reference. Jess Jess manages to convince Rupp that Chaz had an accomplice to help him deliver the goods, and he's like, yeah, you're right. She convinces him in less than 30 seconds that he is wrong. That is the power of J.B. Fletcher. Meanwhile, this bartender keeps telling people he used to serve Ernest Hemingway and that he has a cork signed by him. During this, he realizes he's missing his pocket knife, and it's the one found at the crime scene.
Telling you, I had nothing to do with Chaz's death, period.
I just want to show people my cork. Jess once again threatens to call the distributor, her power move during this entire episode, and he admits to helping Chaz with the stolen supplies, but says he did not kill him. Grady continues to wallow and not communicate with Donna, desperately trying to figure out what he did wrong. He casually mentions Donna was trying to figure out the cost of the stolen lobster and caviar, which causes Jess to have her epiphany moment.
Caviar?
In this economy? Jess realizes the only way Donna could know there was caviar on the scene is if she knew more about the crime than she let on. While she's leaving, we hear some random extra say this.
Would you believe that guy said Hemingway signed his cork?
This made me laugh for an embarrassingly long time. The comedic timing of Murder, She Wrote is so bad, it's fantastic. This is where the entire episode gets absolutely wild. Jess goes to Donna's apartment where she explains she's leaving.
I love Grady, but
he's kind of a schmuck. Jess challenges that notion and Donna confesses to killing Chaz. She had noticed something was wrong when the waiter told them they were out of caviar, and she had just paid for a delivery the previous morning. She was afraid she made a mistake in her bookkeeping, so she confronted Chaz about it, to which he got infuriated and told her to talk to him later. So she does. She goes back to the restaurant later that night and catches Chaz stealing food and whiting out things in the ledger. At first she doesn't understand why he didn't try to hide any of this from her, but then he offers to cut her into this little scam, and she refuses. He got furious, hitting her. He followed her into the freezer and she grabbed the nearest thing she could find, a fish. I love how blatantly fake this giant fish is. Best murder weapon ever. Definitely in the top 10 murder weapons on Murder, She Wrote.
And here was I thinking that you were all nervous because you were getting married.
Turns out you're just a murderer. So Donna confesses her ocean of lies. Do you get it? To the lieutenant, and all is okay because it's considered self-defense. Grady meets them at the station and he and Donna make up.
Grady, there's something I've got to confess to you.
I murdered that guy. I love this episode. It is off the hinges. They ate the murder weapon. They ate it. The murder weapon had victims' blood on it. I don't know how more hardcore an episode of Murder, She Wrote can get. Although I don't know, that ski lodging episode was pretty hardcore. I love Grady episodes, and it's always a bonus when Donna shows up. Fun fact, Donna and Grady's actors are married in real life, having met in the 70s way before the show aired. Cute. This episode was fun, insane, had great characters, and I love all of the costuming. It's so cheesy. In conclusion, definitely watch this one. It's very fun. If you have a suggestion for an episode that you are dying to see me cover, please leave a comment. I choose these episodes based on your feedback and would love to know which ones you love or hated the most. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy sleuthing. Hey everyone, Happy New Year, and thanks again for supporting my channel. It was a slower year for me, but hopefully this one will be filled with much Murder, She Wrote and murder mystery. If you want to support the channel so I can keep riffing on these unhinged episodes, please consider donating to my Patreon campaign. Every little bit helps. If not, there's a link in the description to more links to other places that help me out. I want to specifically highlight my gaming podcast called Save Your Game, which is half about gaming and half dicking around. So if you like that, check it out. If you want to see more videos from me, I have a few suggestions on the screen. On the right is the last episode of That Time on Murder, She Wrote, deemed the worst by Redditors, and on the left is a video I did on some amazing games I played in 2025, 2 of which are mystery games. Thanks again, and as always, I will see you in the next one.